Hey, good morning, friends. Man, we are here for another super exciting WLOG. If you are new to this WLOG, basically what a WLOG is, it's a fancy way of saying work log. So I take you guys along with me. I own and operate, honestly, Handyman Services here in Sacramento, California. So basically, you guys get to come to work with me every single day. I show you my wins, I show you my losses, I show you what I learned. Show you what I failed at, and I also go over pricing and basically what I charge for the certain jobs and how I came up with that. So today, I know I've been haven't posted a video in a little while, but we are getting back at it. Today it is a super rainy day here in Sacramento. I'm heading over downtown right now, going to work on a house that was built in 1910. So a little nervous about that. I worked on it last week. Got it up to snuff so that one of our guys could come in and refinish bathtub. I'll explain a little bit more about that in detail here as we go on. But I'm gonna get heading. Got about 30 minutes to go here and a little bit of traffic because it's raining. So yeah, focus on driving, but I will explain a little bit more once we get to the job. So let's go do it. All right, we made it. See, there's the house there in the background. This video, if anything, is proof that it rains in California. So now I gotta get out in the rain, gotta go to my trailer. I'm gonna get a bucket loaded full of tools and then go in there and get this stuff done. But let's take y'all along with it, let's do it. All right, first things first, we gotta shut the water off to this house. It's actually an old Victorian that was turned into, or I don't know, it might have always been a triplex. I don't know how they built these things, but anyways, I'm working on the upper floor of it, replacing a shower cartridge. It was leaking when it was off all the time. So I have a guy that actually refers us that he does, he refinishes bathtubs, and he was gonna refinish this bathtub, and it was leaking all the time on him, so he couldn't basically get that done. Let's turn this water off here. So usually when I turn the water off, I usually turn this guy on, and then I just go ahead, turn this all the way down, and I leave this faucet on just because that drains all the water out of the house. All right, make sure it slows down there, and we'll just go ahead and leave it on. Well, anyway, so it was leaking when it was off, so he couldn't refinish the bathtub. So he had me come out, and I attempted to replace the cartridge, but I couldn't find the cartridge anywhere local. So what I had to do is just replace the little poppets that you'll see here in a sec, just to get it to not leak when it was off, but it leaks when it's on. But I had to special order the cartridge from Amazon, so got that now, gonna put it in, so let's do it. First thing that I noticed when I got to this location was this handle was in a different position when I left it a week ago, and also this screw was extremely tight, which made me think that maybe they hired someone else to come in behind me because they didn't believe that the cartridge actually needed to be replaced. And that was confirmed after I took this lock ring off. I found a whole bunch of Teflon tape in there, like they were trying to basically make it stop leaking, but maybe didn't quite understand why it was leaking or where it was leaking from, and that's the O-ring around the cartridge. The rubber stoppers that are inside of the valve unit on a Moen, as you can see here, these are actually what make it not leak when it's off, and these are what I replaced, these little rubber poppet stopper valves. Alright, here's these little stoppers. I replaced those rubber poppet stoppet valves to make it so it wouldn't leak when it was off, but it obviously still leaked when it was on. So we got it to the point where Art could refinish the bathtub, and then we could come in and replace this afterwards. Alright, this new package comes with 2 new stoppers. Basically what the stoppers are these little caps with springs. Alright, there's the new stoppers. All right, we got the cartridge in. Now we got to turn the water on. The real test. So what I did is I went ahead and I left the bathtub on, and I also left the sink on there in the bathroom just to let all the air out of the water system once I turn it on. So one thing that I would say is, you know, this guy I mentioned, this contractor that refinishes bathtubs, we've gotten a lot of work from him, and they're mainly jobs like this where, you know, the bathtub is leaking and he can't resurface the tub without having it fixed. So if you guys are wondering how to find more work, one thing that I would say is don't be afraid to talk to people, even if at Home Depot. This guy we met when we were working at a house, you know, across town, and he was refinishing a bathtub while we were doing something else at the house. And we just got his name and number, and he sent us a whole bunch of work. We've sent him a whole bunch of work. But yeah, that's my little tidbit. Let's go ahead and turn this water back on. All right, got that water turned back on. The fear of this is always, hopefully the upstairs isn't flooding, but that's not a, yeah. It's always a concern, but it never happens yet. Hopefully never. Ooh, that's hot. All right, no leaks when it's on or off. Need to switch this handle over to here. I think I put the handle on backwards. Let's swap it here. Yep, there we go. Hey, Marcus. Is Marcus here? Oh, okay. All done in the shower. Okay, bye. Okay, so let's go. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. All right, we got all done with that job. Not too bad, not too bad. One concern I had when I first did this job, I'm not wearing my glasses because they're all like super fogged up. One concern I had when I first got called to this house, I was super nervous about turning the water off. Obviously all this piping has been redone because this house is like 109 years old. So this piping has obviously been done. It's all copper now, but turning that water off and then turning it back on was super scary because I'm like, gosh, I hope this thing lasts. You know, I hope this thing holds. I hope it doesn't break. I hope nothing bursts. You know, I hope that the valve actually turns off and then actually turns back on, which it did. So, and then I was able to find the new shower cartridge online and popped it in there. Everything's good. This house is actually owned by someone out of state, and they rent out all 3 of these little triplexes or whatever. And then there's a property manager that's here in town that I work with. And again, I found her through the contractor who referred me. You know, he does refurnishing bathtubs, and he refers me to a lot of people. So that's how I got hooked up with this job. It was super great. I think I've been here for about a total of an hour, and that includes the time of last week and this week. And then I had to find the part, obviously. That took me maybe 5-10 minutes on Amazon. And then we had to ship it here. So the customer's gonna pay for shipping and the part and all that. But I charged them labor for this. I charged them $200 for this because my minimum rate, so my rate here is $90 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. So that means $180 is a minimum. And then for this job here, I did $200 just because of the distance and the house and all that. So we went $200 labor plus materials, and then there'll be a little bit of markup on that materials. If you guys are interested in how I mark up materials, leave a comment in the comment section below. I would love to hear it because I want to make a video on that, but I don't know if there's enough people interested in how I come up with a markup on my materials. So leave me a comment. Man, it's getting fogged up in here. I better turn this car on and get going home. But anyway, so that's really it for this job here. I'm gonna be heading to another job right now. I did another shower valve cartridge job this morning. Did a few estimates this morning. Also met with my independent contractor. We exchanged checks, talked about jobs and stuff like that. I got a lot of cool things going on. I'm really excited. I got a whole, you know, reburst of energy and just excitement in this YouTube channel, and kind of it has a mission and a vision now. I'm really excited about that because before it was kind of lacking that. So I'm excited to engage with y'all. Sorry I've been gone for a little while, but I am back. Probably not at the same consistency as I was before, but there will be at least 3 or 4 videos a month for sure. So I'm super excited about that. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know who you are, where you're from, and what you do for a living, and if you're looking to get started as a handyman. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and tune in on the next vlog as we all are here to learn together. I'm here to learn from you guys. I've learned so much from you guys, and hopefully, maybe one day you guys can learn something from me. But we'll see. You guys all have a great one. We'll catch you on the next one.